Okay, there was a question asked yesterday about trading after hours, pre-market and after hours, and what it means. Where the volume is, what are the sort of the rules, and so I just wanted, and I guess probably the best example here recently was this DLPN. So DLPN yesterday traded 170 million shares and closed around $18. And then after hours, you can see that the volume just dries right up. And it's for several reasons. One, people go home, they don't trade 24 hours a day. So there's a smaller audience. But two, a lot of brokerage firms don't allow you to trade after hours or pre-market. And some of them, some of the big discount brokers and such, they don't trade, and ones where you're putting an order in through a broker, brokers go home. So there's no, so it takes away a huge portion of the traders. But the other thing that's important to know is that there is no rules in a sense. When you're trading stocks like this DLPN yesterday morning, when the stock spiked, it got halted, spiked, halted, but also on the way back down. There wasn't any trading halts on the way back down, but probably, well, we won't go. You just know that when a stock moves more than 10% in a period of time, it gets halted up or down. So you don't have that after hours. The stocks just trade free will. So initially what happens quite often with these stocks that we think are going to spike after hours is the brokerage firms sell, if accounts are offside, they sell the stock and they just sell it at market at any price. They just get rid of it. If there's margin calls or whatever the case may be, and that's usually after the market closes. So quite often these will sell off, but then all of a sudden, after that's happened, people will start, buying it, and then maybe some chat rooms or something, because they know that there's nobody around to sell to them. There's no sellers, and they generate the buying, and away it goes. Now you can see that this did trade, on the way up here. Let's have a look and see. This traded 320,000 shares. But at the close, this thing was trading 1 million shares every 2 minutes. Huge volume. At least, 500, 600,000, 1 million shares every 2 minutes. So here, to push it from 17 to 23, it did it on less volume than it traded in one 2 minute candle. And then it pulled back, and then we can see in here where it popped up to 35.5. I mean, it only traded 50,000 shares. So you get this huge. You get this huge volume. You get this huge price spike, but there's no volume to it, and so it's not surprising that these sell off at the end, because the buyers in here, there was no sellers, and took very little volume to move it. But when it starts to trade and the volume comes in, now unfortunately my the charts TC2000, their data feed is quit, and so I'm not getting any data feed, so we don't know what happened here. But all of a sudden there's all these people that bought it up in here because there was no sellers, and now all of a sudden the sellers come in because all these people that bought here that couldn't trade, they want to sell because they doubled their money. So they want to get out of this thing as quick as they can. And so there is not enough buyers. There's no volume here, and there's not enough buyers now to hold the price up, and so it sells off. So again, just to quickly reiterate, there's a lot of brokerage firms don't allow you to trade. Most of the traders go home, so there's not much volume, so it can be very whippy. You can get these big spikes, and if you're lucky enough to hang, if you did stick around and trade this, you could have made absolutely a killing on it. There's no doubt. But there's a lot of risk in trading after hours like this because there's no support. There's just no buyers. There's buyers, but there's no volume. And so if a big seller comes in, there's nobody there to support the market. And then what happens at the opening, all these people, when they do take these big spikes, they sell off because all these people back here that bought, they want to sell and take advantage of what these people up here were driving the market higher, those with FOMO, thinking it's going to go to 100.